Oh, hey, Christy. Super excited to do this with you. This is so cool. I love being
Wow.
able to interact like this. I feel like we talk a lot for voice messaging and texting, but we don't get to like be with each other in person, and so this is like the next best thing.
Yes, for sure.
So we don't want to keep you guys too long today, but we wanted to make sure to come in and give you all the ins share what it is that we do. I feel like there's so many misconceptions, and my favorite thing is to educate people about my job. I think people view us in one way or shape or form, and then but they don't actually understand like the behind the scenes. I feel like with social media, kind of it's like a highlight reel, right? So it's not really like what exactly are we doing, how we are building a business, what that looks like in terms of details and things like that. So we're excited to be able to share that with you guys. So for those of you that may not know me, my name is Megan Anderson, and I have been a partner with Beachbody. It's going to take a little bit of time to rework the wording there, but we're gonna, and we'll also get into that too. Beachbody is rebranding themselves this spring. So Christy and I are on the same team. We are part of a larger team in the network. The team that we're part of is Team Upward, and they are number two for 2022. They were number two in the network, so that has been really exciting. It's just so fun to be a part of so many successful business women, but that also love fitness and are into health and just so like-minded. The like-mindedness, I think, is what drew me in, for sure, because I always felt like I was just doing my thing on my own, and to meet other people that were in the same, it had the same interests, aligning with the same values and all that kind of stuff was really a life changing moment for me. So I've been a Beachbody coach, Beachbody partner, BODi Partner, however you would like to look at that. Actually going to have my 10-year anniversary this year. Christy, I think you're not far behind, right, as far as timing?
Yeah, so I've been with Beachbody Body for 8.5 years. Actually, closer to 9 because March will be 9. So it's crazy to think about how much has changed in your life when you think about that span of time. I've been married for 10 years, so it's pretty much been the entire my marriage. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think about it in my kids because I remember starting this business when my kids were toddlers, diapers, and chasing them around and wishing school would come for them. And now they're all teenagers, and one of which is driving, which is crazy in itself. So like lifetimes are happening
yes.
before us. So we want to get right into it with you. We like I said, we're excited to have you here. We love to set up these educational webinars so that we can just answer questions that you have, field the questions that we get asked most often, and really just help you to understand a little bit more what it means to partner with a business like this, what network marketing is, direct sales like, and just have that general conversation. We realize that it is not for everyone, and that's okay. But I think the big thing for us is, what if it could be, right? I think if you really think about what it is that you want out of a career, out of a business, what should that look like for you? I find myself these days having this conversation more and more with my son as he's getting ready to go to college. Is college the answer for him? Is that the road? What does he want to do? What does he want his life to look like? And the lifestyle and the like values and all of those say, I wouldn't take back my journey from where I began to now, because I think it was a life lesson experience. It got me to where I am. But I also feel like, I was never in a position where somebody asked me, what do you want? How do you want life to look? I was 40 years old before I came to a place where I was like, I'm not happy. It's a long time to be not happy with your situation. So I feel like, again, being able to educate other women and moms and fitness professionals about what it is that we do um, is just huge, for sure. So let's see. We didn't want to get too heavily into our story with you. We feel like for the most part, those of you that are following us have an idea of where we came from, of a little bit of our story. Christy, you can touch upon how you got started, like where you were in life, what made you decide to become a coach, if you want to jump on that.
Yeah. So I was actually already sort of in fitness. So I was teaching boot camp classes and also working work retail and just all the things. And just wanted something else and honestly wanted it for me because I was teaching boot camp classes for other people. But then it was like I needed to work on myself. I needed to work on my fitness and my health because just teaching a bunch of classes isn't going to get the results that you may be wanting. So I was like, okay, I want to dig in. I want to do this for me. So I decided to do the 21-day fix. Extreme was when it came out. I done it. Fell in love with it. Figured out nutrition was my missing gap. I'd been calorie counting and putting in calories and scanning foods and stuff, but really understanding how all that worked together. So when I joined, I got that whole thing, and then I just turned my passion of teaching all in person to online and helping people that way. Still was a trainer and still worked at a gym or two afterwards, but still definitely the workouts was for me. That's why I joined.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think that a lot of times too, so I always say that I came in this backwards, like I'm a fitness professional now, but I wasn't when I started. And in having a lot of conversations with fitness professionals, I feel like they feel like it's a competition, either or Beachbody or, home workouts or the gym or whatever. And really now, everything has changed so much over the last couple of years. We've seen that in every industry, but especially ours, because now it's seen as like another tool in your tool bag that you can offer as far as being a fitness professional. And I just opened up a studio a couple of in December, fitness studio. I'm a certified instructor too, and it's been fun to be able to marry the two things together. So the people that I can help locally, I can help not so locally, and I can work with them in the gym or out of the gym, and kind of put all those pieces together. So that's fun. My background's a little bit different. I came in from a business perspective. My husband and I had our own business that we started when the kids were little, or actually before kids, and then the kids were little. And so I had always had that business mindset. I kind of grew up in that entrepreneurial family household. My dad was a business owner. And so it was something that I always felt drawn to. There was a point where I actually thought I was going to take over his company, but ended up starting my own thing. And, was at kind of in a place where I thought you had to choose whether you were a career person, a business person, or being a mom, where I wanted to do both things, but I wasn't really sure how that would look. And kind of like society was saying, hey, you can't be a good mom if you're working, or you can't have a successful career if you're a mom. There's no way to marry the two. So I really kind of struggled with that because I did want both. I wanted the best of both worlds. And I had been doing Beachbody workouts for years and years prior already. So when I found out that there was an opportunity, like so many years later, a business opportunity, that's where the light bulbs went off for me. It was something that I had already understood as a business owner, what reoccurring revenue was and that passive income that you could create. The missing parts were that I wanted to do it on my terms from home, while raising kids, not having to be on the road. My job at the time was I was all over New England, in the car all the time. The kids were in daycare. So it was almost like this perfect, storm had come together. My favorite part of my day where I was working on myself, The thing that was exciting to me as far as fitness, and then to marry that with, okay, and I can stay home, and I can bring in income, and I can be the business owner. And all the things that I hated about our brick and mortar business, paying rent and inventory and utilities and a fleet of vans and employees and all that stuff. I didn't have any of that with this opportunity. So that was just such a huge light bulb, because we had a lot of debt with our business, we had a lot of expenses. And to be able to say, oh my goodness, I can kind of have the same scenario, but in such a different way, instead of having a fleet of employees, force that I work, but then in turn it's their own business. I'm not their manager. I'm not their boss. I'm guiding them and helping them, but they're ultimately in charge of their own success, which is a huge weight off your shoulders when you're trying to grow a business of employees. So I come from that different perspective. So let's see. So we're going to cover a bunch of different things today. We want to get into. We mentioned about how BODi's rebranding, Beachbody's rebranding, talking about a community. We want to get right to any of the questions that you have, how we earn, and what it means in the training and things of that nature. I always like to start off with just talking about who we are, kind of like who we're looking for. Christy and I were lucky enough to kind of find each other in this way. I feel like, we have so much in common in terms of our core values and who we are, and moms mostly. We're on a mission, empowering women mostly who are moms, who love fitness and are career oriented and looking to build a life of freedom, fulfillment, and legacy. In our purpose-driven approach, we pay it forward together by contributing to others through love, service, and giving to ultimately make an impact in other women's lives and the lives of their families. Working moms with faith-based values, leading with love, service, and value, who are looking and wanting more in their life. Hardworking, determined, figure-it-outable mentality, never give up, disciplined, self-motivated, goal-oriented. We are growing an organization full of women who believe in themselves and who are not afraid to live out loud and do those things that fill them up, all while being a mom and a career. So Christy, you want to just go into one of the three things, or one of the three things, on what becoming or what being a partner with BODi means?
Yes. So part of the thing that I love about being a BODi partner is it starts with us first. So my journey really started focusing on myself and getting healthy and just spreading that. And being on your journey is the greatest thing ever, because it's so inspiring to help others do the same, because the struggles that you have, somebody else is having them too. So if you're sharing them, then you're helping somebody else. So step one is to live a healthy and fulfilling life. So you want to be as healthy as you can, and that's total. And then so that's your nutrition, your mindsets, and your fitness all together. And by doing that, you're going to be living a fulfilling life, and it's just going to flow over into everything. When I first started coaching, I kind of held back a little bit, because I was like, I'm already a boot camp instructor. I already do this. This is just my thing. And then I noticed that people was like, you're different. Like, what's going on? And so when I started really embracing the whole thing and really sharing that, then it clicked for me. And I got even better results, and I felt better. I was a better mom at the time. My son was not 16, he was a lot younger. So I was better with him. I was more patient. I was able to really focus on things. So that was one thing. And then inspiring others. Like, it truly makes my heart sing when I hear, whether they're in my boot camp or if it's somebody that's just following me on social media, and they reach out and like, that was inspiring. That made me want to go out for a walk. Your post made me want to get up and move my body in such a form, whatever their choice of the movement was for the day. Or, I realized that I didn't need to eat as much junk food and really start taking care of my body if I want to age better. And just hearing all the things all the way around, it's so inspiring and it's so motivational to your journey too, because it's like somebody else is getting benefited from me doing my daily actions of taking care of myself. So I love inspiring others. And then we support others on their journey. So by helping others pair our workouts, our nutrition, and our mindset now all together, then we help them on their journey. So we're their support system when they're not feeling the motivation, when they're don't know what the next step is. That's what we're there for, the support for them, and just have community around it. Like a lot of times you just need that extra cheerleader to say you can do it. And so supporting others on our journey is definitely part of the biggest part, I believe, in us as a body partner or a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like be even it's like the ultimate in accountability to become a coach, a partner with with BODi, and it just, you automatically feel like you're responsible for like bringing yourself to a higher standard. I know that was an immediate thing for me. I had been doing my
Mm-hmm.
workouts all along, and then as soon as I like signed up on the dotted line, I was like, okay, now people are looking to me for guidance, right? And it just kind of like level and made you want to work harder and made you want to be better because you had put yourself in that position. And I think also it's not about being perfect, right? I think that the thing that I love most about our current group that we have is there's so many different women in there from all life in there. They've got, older kids, some are grandmas, some are they have teenagers, some have littles, and they're all in different places. So they all contribute in different ways. And so they are also supporting. It's not like it's like the Megan show or the Christy show. It's like us together right inside, and we're literally linking arms together. Like, I'm not the perfect expert person in there. We're literally doing it together. And that's probably my favorite part and my biggest motivation is that it's not about me. It's about us collectively that makes the difference, and it makes the impact because we're doing it all together as a group. So I love
Yes,
that part.
definitely. Having the community and the group is so key.
Yeah. Okay, so just a little bit about BODi. Gonna still take some time on that. Their mission has always been the same since day one. They have been around, and I should probably put this in here once in a while. I want to say like 2007 or something. The network was created. They used to be infomercials on late night TV, Insanity, P90X. That's kind of how they got their start. Turbo Fire, Turbo Jam was all there on late night TV. I think they still have a little bit of that stuff out there. But it wasn't until some of the customers had got together and they were like either meeting each other on the message boards and just like collectively talking about these programs that the idea kind of had been getting birth at that point where they were like, what if we had these people be advocates for us? And so the network marketing business model was created. But since the beginning, their business model has been to help people achieve their goals. But the Beachbody company, which it probably will stay the same, everything's being called BODi, but I would imagine the LLC, whatever company is going to be the Beachbody company because that's on the stock ticker. The only company that delivers the total solution to millions of people, industry-leading solutions that combine fitness, nutrition, peer support to deliver real sustainable results. They have become the gold standard for excellence. And I love kind of following their journey along and seeing all the other people in the industry trying to play catch up. You see the different ones in our industry, at home fitness and different things like trying to, ride the coattails there. But we are one of the leading in the industry. So they're rebranding this spring. We had a big announcement there's been several over the last few months that they're changing from Beachbody to BODi, which stands for Beachbody On Demand Interactive. It comes from the newest platform, addition to their platform that they added, live classes, cycling, just in addition to Beachbody On Demand that came over the last year or so. And so to just uncomplicate things, they decided to rebrand. But also the biggest component and driver was that they did not want a negative connotation from the word Beachbody. I think that it wasn't something that was realized in the beginning. I think it was just a name that had come up and stuck all these years. But wanting to realize that it's more than just, aesthetics, that it really has nothing to do with aesthetics. There's so many fads, so many trends, so much noise out there on social media. And we be able to put our blinders on and say, hey, look, this is the bigger picture is about feeling good, right? That we are going to feel better when we pour into ourselves with fitness and nutrition and support and mindset. It's not about aesthetics. I think weight loss is the consequence to all of those actions, but that should not be the focus. And I know that we have been doing that in our groups for a little bit now, probably a couple of years, I would say. We have been really focused on just pouring into yourself and taking care of yourself and what that looks like. And our accountability groups are actually off of social media, so that you can focus, so that you're not distracted by all the noise. We've got women logging their workouts and their water, and we're talking about meal planning every week and all of that. And just get so excited when these women are having these like non-scale victories, they call, right? And more about just, I feel great. I feel stronger. I have a bunch of energy. Like, oh, that is the bottom line, right? You're happy when you feel good, not when you look good. And trying to just debunk what that diet industry is saying. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
No, I think that's a great concept because even when I worked in the gym, you would be amazed at what some people go to the extents of to get results. And it's like, you're missing the point. The point isn't a certain weight or a number or a size of clothes, it's health. Like, you're doing it all backwards. So I love the air stance on it now. And I think it's always been there, it's just not been highlighted enough.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's like you said, like people, it's just another way, again, we talk about coaching or being a partner or affiliate and what that means, but educating people on what we do with the fitness aspect of it, with the health aspect of it. I don't think a lot of people realize that they can have this full solution, and whether it's at home or they're going to the gym, they can have all of this and lead that healthy and fulfilling life. Like, literally, I mean, fitness and all of these things are not meant to take away or detract from your life. It's meant to complement your life so that you can go on and live out in the world and play with your kids and carry jugs of water and groceries and all of that stuff and feel at your best. All right. Okay, so let's get into it. So some of the perks that we love come with, basic, we have a lot of recognition. We do a lot of prizes there. We do a lot of things within our team, but we also, the company does a lot of recognition as well. So not only do you earn income on a weekly basis, we get paid every Thursday, but you also can have the opportunity to earn trips. We have live events, a lot of recognition. They do a lot of like fun swag. I would say there's probably a bunch hanging behind me every time you earn it, just for like, working your business, earning the basic minimum benchmark. You earn points, you earn swag on a monthly basis. And then they have the Success Club trips. We have our team retreats. As what was I going to say? Oh, and summit. So annual summit, and also super weekend too, that happens quarterly. But the Success Club trip I think they're going to Mexico this time, and then next year I believe is Punta Cana, right? So I've been to a few different ones. They did a bunch of live cruises. With COVID and everything, some of that stuff was put on hold, but everything is all back. And so yeah, besides just your weekly income, you have the opportunity to earn prizes in recognition trips. Um, some of our pictures from Summit. So this was 2019, I think these two were. So we mentioned we're part of they were the number one team in 2021, number two in 2022. So that's a little transformation of my journey so far. And then here is Christy's transformation, some of her events that she's attended super weekend. Pregnancy comeback. Look at that. Nice. And so tan. Look how tan. I like your hair too. Punta Cana in Mexico. And then the New Leader Conference is something that you earn when you get to a certain level and you're working your business. They have a number of different leadership ranks that you earn income and bonuses and things of that nature. And then you can earn a trip to this is a special training. So this was only for one-star diamonds. They held it in Las Vegas, and it was such a great experience because some of the events can be really big, right? But these smaller, more intimate ones that you can get invited to certain levels in your business are cool because they gear the trainings for where you are right in that place. So just a really great stepping stone, like something over and above, and they pamper you like crazy. They put you in the room is comped, and food and little swag bags and stuff like that. Workout with one of the super trainers, that was cool. And then this last one is a couple super weekend events. So those are fun, being a part of all that stuff and I think one of the big aha moments for me was when I was first a coach and we had our first super weekend. So I grew up in Massachusetts. I live in New Hampshire now, but the big events were always in Boston. And I remember getting signed up and going to my first event and thinking, I don't know, I had no idea what to expect. And there were literally hundreds of coaches at this event, and they had sent one of the super trainers. And I just couldn't believe there were that many people that were doing this business that lived in my backyard. Like, I really still thought I was like the only one that would be interested in this kind of thing. And when I went to some of those live events, I was like, this is so cool that there are so many people like me here. Okay, so let's get into some of the frequently asked questions. So I think an interesting one is, do I have to sell? So right out of the get-go, like at the end of the day, it's called direct sales for a reason, right? This is how you're going to earn income. However, it really is more about being authentically who you are. And so we always talk about, the belief in the programs, the belief in the products. We certainly don't want you to be a part of our. You can authentically get behind Beachbody On Demand or Shakeology or any of the performance line. Certainly there are products and things that we might not care for. You don't have to love every single thing, but I think, from my standpoint, I know that I believe in the mission. I believe in what the company stands for, their innovation that they come up with. And I also do happen to really love the products. I consume a handful of them every single day. I love the workouts. I still geek out over the workouts. That was something that I was doing from home, way even before my children were born. It was something that I loved. So, for somebody to become a team member, we absolutely want them to be like the biggest cheerleader with the company. And I think too, the whole thing about feeling like a salesperson goes away because you authentically love something so much, you can't help but talk about it, share it, and want to invite people into our world, just because you just can't help it, you know. It's like, you know, going to an awesome steak restaurant down the street and being like, oh my gosh, this filet was the best, and they had the garlic butter on it, and they served it with this and this and this, and you can't go on and on. You're selling the steak to somebody, you know, when you're talking about it. It's that same sort of mentality. Um, and we talk a lot about, we'll talk and get into what we do for training and mentoring, but we do get into, you know, sharing who you are. It's more than just those products, right? It's about how it adds to your life, the benefit it gives to you. What has this company given to you, provided for you? How are you feeling when you do the workouts? Does the nutrition make you feel? It's really what it's about. You know, anyone could sell shakes and sell workouts and stuff like that. It's really about you being authentically you and helping specific persons that you want to work with. But all of that, we talk about how to train, talk on social media, all of that kind of stuff is included on that. Do you have anything that you want to add?
No, I think the fear of selling kind of, like you said, goes away when you're not focused on the sell. You're focused on what you're doing that's like crazy incredible, and it's hard not to share. So it's not really selling when at the end of the day you're just telling them what you love. And if you can't get behind something, then that's probably not the right product or service or company or whatever. But it's if you truly love it, then you're going to want to share it, just like your favorite restaurant or salon or anything else.
Right. Okay, so you can do number two.
Yeah, okay. Do you need a lot of free time to be successful? No, in short. So this has literally came full circle. My son, this has been 9 years almost. So he's 16. So, he was still young, but I worked full time. So at the beginning, I was working retail, I was working at a gym. Like, I literally didn't have that much time. So it transitioned to that. Then I became a stay at home mom for a while with plans on going back. And so it was great. I was like, I had all day long. He went to school. 8 o'clock, I was free to do whatever I wanted to do until he got off the bus at 4. And I was like, great. Although I found you can waste a day away really easily. So it'd be like 3 o'clock. I'm like, I haven't got my workout in, haven't got my work in. I need to take a shower, and everybody's gonna be home in an hour. What did I do all day? But you start getting the grasp of it. But now, I've got two younger ones. So I've got a 3 day, well, she'll be 4 in March, and then a 2-year-old. So surprisingly, even though they fought, they have stayed busy redoing this. I'm surprised that they haven't came in here. It's nearing nap time. But right now, I work when they're playing or when they are napping or early in the morning. Sometimes it'll be 5:30 in the morning. I get up, get my son off to school and all that. And I just like the quiet house. So sometimes I'll just sit down and do my work then. Sometimes it's at nap time. Sometimes it's after everybody goes to bed. And it's just whatever works for that day. I don't have like a regimented like schedule that I have to do X, Y, and Z at this time. I try to plan out my days, but a lot of times it's just kind of you wing it when everything just goes to chaos. So with toddlers, that's the way it is right now, and it's nice to be able to do that versus having to make sure I'm out of the house at a certain time and make sure that I'm back in the house at a certain time. So it's nice to kind of have that flexibility right now. It's not always been like that, but it's definitely nice now. So you can make it work for whatever situation that you're in. You've just got to find them small time windows that you have available that you want to plug into. So you definitely don't need a whole lot of time. The more time you have, probably the worse it could get because you start doing things that you don't need to do, or you put it off. Oh, I've got all day, that kind of thing. So you definitely don't need tons of times. And you don't want to be like working 24/7 or whatever. I make a point to I close my laptop, I turn it off, I put it away, I put my phone away, and I'm present. And I usually make that I'll work off and on in the morning time, but after they go down for a nap and when they come back up from a nap, I'm done for the day until I get ready to go to bed. And that's just, it's worked. They know that they're pretty good mood in the morning. So I know I can get some stuff usually done. And then nap time, it's like, okay, I'll do what I need to do. And then afterwards, I'm done. So it's nice to have that flexibility and kind of just work it in.
Right, right. And I think too, I think back in the day, we were trained in a different way. I always say, 10 years in this business, a lot has changed as far as how
Hmm.
we do business and how we are trained, even how corporate trains us now. And so really, it's not about working 24/7. It is about being intentional with your time and being focused. And this is something that we train in our teams too. We work from a list. We're intentional. I often will do a lot of time blocking exercises with the team or with our challengers to help people find time, so that you don't. It's not. It doesn't become a slave. You're not a slave to it, right? Because most of us got into this business so that we could have the freedom and the flexibility, not to make things worse. So I will say for me, when I first started, I struggled with this a lot. My kids were running around me and my laptop was open on the kitchen counter all day long. And it was horrible. But I didn't really know any better, right? I didn't know what this was about. I didn't really have the guidance way back then. It was more like, just do what you can when you can. So we have gotten so much better as far as our training and how we work, and we talk about that a lot. So know that you do not need a lot of time, but being intentional, being focused, and we have tools and things to share with you guys on that. Okay, so do I need to be an expert? No, not at all. So I feel like once we sort of talk about what it means to be a partner, helping to be a guide to navigate people through the resources, right? So while there are, fitness professionals and different types of people, nurses, doctors, lawyers, like every walk of life does this business. You do not need to be an expert because everything has already been created by experts. So the nutritional resources and courses were created already for us. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. All we need to do is, implement them ourselves. I'm always saying, being a product of the product is huge. You should really try all the bits and pieces so that you can understand how it works. And then you're really just using your experience to guide somebody through that, right? And if you're stuck or struggling with any one aspect, that's what we're here for, to help you, right? So, being an expert is absolutely not required. The fitness professionals have already created the programs, the workouts. Again, it's really just a matter of sharing with somebody what you like and helping to guide them through the resources. And again, all things that can be trained and help you with, and that's what we're here for as well. Okay, so do you need to be at your goals yet?
No, you do not need to be at your goals. So this is a funny story, and it takes a little backstory before Beachbody. When I first became a fitness instructor at boot camp, I literally did not know how to do anything. I'm talking like a bicep curl, a push up. I did not come from an athletic background whatsoever. Never played sports. I knew how many times I could miss like gym class in school. Like that was not me. I was the nerd. So anybody can really do this, and you don't have to be at your goals. It's just, it turns into your passion. So when you're working on yourself, then your goals change over time. My goals now are different than then. So you're always working to whatever goals, or whether it's maintenance or whatever. So everybody's on their own journey, and you're just helping somebody come along. So you don't have to be where your goals are, because if I would have waited till I was at my goals, if you go back and think about that boot camp picture, I was teaching boot camp classes and I still wanted to lose 25 pounds. Um, and then I found my way to Beachbody because I wanted to work on myself. And when I started working on myself, I was still helping others, but I was still working on myself. So it's totally possible. You're just going to plug them into the programs and the systems that's already proven. So you don't have to figure it all out. And that's what I was doing as a boot camp instructor, is I was plugging them into proven workouts But I was also forgetting to take care of myself. So that's where when you're plugging somebody in, you're already on your journey, you're giving them their journey. So you definitely don't need to be at your goals. You actually, I feel like, are more beneficial when you're on your journey than if you're already here. It's kind of hard to sometimes remember what it was like to be at the beginning. And I learned that very quickly after having the girls. Because the first workout that I'd done after like full out workout, I was working out while I was pregnant, safely. But the first workout that I had done, workout program post pregnancy that I was like able to do it all was morning meltdown. And I crushed that workout before. I realized I could not do a plank, a push up, nothing. Like my strength, my core, it was gone. And I was like, oh, like I forgot what that feeling was because it's been so many years back. And I was like, okay, this like really humbled me. Like, okay, let's go back to like down to earth now. And so I feel like that when you're not at your goals, you can still be so beneficial to somebody because you're going to relate to them. And then when you are at your goals, don't forget where you started at and how to relate to those.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head too with we're never really at our goals. There's no end goal. And I think I love that, like I said about the community, is we're all at different places. And so I'm still every day working on myself. I'm in the gym, I'm teaching others, but I'm also thinking always about how can I get better? What are things that I can do to improve? And, it will always be that way. I don't feel like you could really ever be the expert in one area, right? Okay. Do I have to have a large following on social media? So this is one of my favorites, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, but Instagram was not even invented yet when I started coaching. So for me, I mentioned I got started in 2013. So Facebook was just becoming a thing. I maybe had I wasn't on there, but maybe I started it. I feel like it wasn't even something that like it is today for sure. But I didn't know anybody. And so everything that I know and I'm doing today on social media, it has been learned. My business before was literally door to door or phone calls. So I had never had any experience on social media marketing or anything like that. And so you build it, right? And also there's a kind of like a negative connotation with worrying about likes and comments and views and followers. And really, that is not what the importance of this type of business is. It's more about quality. You're in a relationship building business. So the more important aspect is that you're building quality connections with people and not having a huge social media following. And so much has changed with social media. Like back in the day, that might have been a huge deal. The more followers, videos going viral and things like that. But I don't feel like it is that way anymore. Absolutely don't need to have any social media. You can start from scratch. That's all included in our team's training, mentorship, and our back office trainings as well. So in this alone, I don't know if you want to take that one.
Yeah, sorry, I had a kid meltdown. In this alone, yeah, we're never alone. So that is part of the whole thing. When I was teaching classes and everything, sometimes it can feel a little lonely. And when you're in this as a team, it's nice you've got people to bounce ideas off of. You've got, we're collabing on this, and whether it's groups, whether it's, motivation, you're always got somebody there to partner with to create that, community. And that's what I really, especially now being a stay-at-home mom, I love the best is sometimes you just need that community and you don't have to create everything by yourself because you're plugging into a team and we've got resources and different things to help you along the way instead of starting at scratch.
Yeah, absolutely. We are part of a huge team, but we are also creating our own environments with our clients and things of that nature too. And I've heard that a bunch, that the personal trainers that come into this business never really alone and disconnected they were until they were a part of a team and the collaboration that took place. They were like, wow, it's almost like they didn't know what they were missing until they had it. They were like, ooh. So that's kind of a cool concept too. I feel like personally, and we had talked about this before, like I don't need a bunch of motivation to work out. Like I'm pretty driven in my own self. But having the
Leave
feeling of knowing that there's somebody else there, a whole group of somebody's, whether it's on your team call, we do a national wake up call every Monday where the whole company gets on and the entire network. So that is pretty cool. And it's almost like you can pick and choose how many or how little people you're exposed to, right? So you can be a part of some of the big team calls, or you can do your thing on your own or with a small team member. I mean, I really love that. And you have so many different trainings. Like I mentioned, the invitation that you get to go to the advanced trainings that the network hosts, but within our teams, we also have these like push groups and push pods and just different things that are happening all along the way, always for you to advance your business and grow together. And it's just so much fun to like help each other, right? Like what Christy doesn't know, she can help me with, and vice versa, or we can look to somebody else if we need some extra help in that regard too. Okay, so how do we earn income? Okay, so there are two buckets to fill as a working business partner. So you have the products that you earn commissions with. Everything that you sell, you earn 25%. I think it's like 25 to 40%. There's a little bit of a little gap, sliding window there. And so you earn products, everything. You also earn income by building your team and filling that bucket. So you earn income from we have a volume pool that we pull together where you earn bonuses. You also earn additional bonuses, as I mentioned, from getting those invitations going up the ranks. And so depending on, where you are in the business or what your goals are, that's kind of how we determine the best ways to help you. We have, people that work the business as like part-time hobby fun, just a couple of bucks income, people that just want to have their groceries paid for or pay for gas or what have you. There's people that, use this as like, it's like a part-time job, right? Because like Christy just said, the flexibility is crazy. The time that you'd spend driving to a part-time job, punching in a couple hours, so people are doing that. I will say most people do start. Most coaches, most partners already have a full-time job when they start, and then they can either have the decision to transition out or add on to what they're doing. I know that there's people from all walks of life within the company. I know that we have, like I mentioned, doctors, lawyers, professionals in that way that use this to augment what they're already doing. There is a college professor that spoke on one of our calls a couple of months ago. That was pretty cool. I think she's a professor at Columbia and does this. Also, she's a full-time, very extremely successful coach as well. So it really just kind of depends on where you are on the spectrum, where your goals are. We also have affiliates where, you're like our biggest cheerleaders in our groups and you're sharing on social media and you love the programs and the products, but you don't have, the bandwidth to build a team or run your own groups. So you could share affiliate links and earn commissions and things like that. So kind of just all different levels, just where you want to be and what your goals are, what it looks like for you. And so how much does it cost? You have anything you want to add there? I don't know.
No, I think that's good. There is different, and just because so if you was thinking, okay, well that sounds like me, I could do that, or when you come into it, it doesn't matter what you think you want. You just go with it and you decide as you go. So you're never locked into if you say you want to start as a coach and you want to, or a partner, and then you get, and I'm like, okay, this season of my life, I can't I don't have the bandwidth to think about it. Then you can just start with the affiliate and start giving links to the products and programs that you like. If you start with that and you want to say, okay, I love this, like, why didn't I go all in before? It's up to you. You can go all in. Like, you're not locked into one decision or not when you start. That's completely like flexible.
So yeah, you can talk about what it costs to get started.
Oh, okay. So, what it costs to get started, it's getting started on your journey. And that's what I loved about this. There's no like overhead or anything. Coming from the fitness world, I looked into opening my own, buying a gym, all that. It costs this crazy amount. This is simply just starting your own journey. So whether you're already a customer, BODi, or if you're getting started, it's your pack, it's your total solution, it's your workouts, it's your nutrition, and it's your supplements of choice. And so to get started, it's 160. That's kind of the base level. You can add on, but it's 160 to get everything that you need. And then if you want extras, you can always add that on. And then you also pay a $15.95 monthly fee. Basically, that covers your website, the social media, branding stuff, all the like back office, back end. Plus, Beachbody ships all your stuff for you. They return it. They do customer service. Like all that stuff is taken care of, so you don't have to worry about that. So that $15.95 just is like a very, very low overhead of like, if you was to try to do all that yourself, like you can't even get a website for $15 a month. So it's just everything you need. So you only have to worry about that as well. And then you save 25% off of all of your orders. So going forward, after you get started, then you get your coach discount on everything. So it's 160, and I think that's an amazing value. Like when you stop and think about the business that you could build, it's like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's no limit to the income. We do have to say that Beachbody doesn't, guarantee any
Yeah.
level of success. It does have to do with your own diligence and skill level. But there really is no cap. I don't ever like to quote what other coaches are making, because it's very personal, conversation, but, it can be pretty significant if you want it to be. But also know that it doesn't happen overnight. So this is not like a get rich quick anything. Like this is literally a business investment. And you should expect when you get started to spend a couple of years growing your business. Sure, there are people that can do it faster. It depends how much time you have and things like that. And those are also things that we can talk about individually as well. But there really is no limit to what you can do, which is a pretty cool thing for 160. I mentioned when we first started our business, loan to get into our company, rent and inventory we needed and the trucks that we had to buy and all of that kind of stuff. And when you do something like, even if it's like a box gym or like a McDonald's, like the franchises alone, the fees are hundreds of dollars every single month. And you're subject to their branding and their licensing and all of that kind of stuff. With the freedom and flexibility that you have for $15.95 a month, it's really kind of a no-brainer. Okay, cool. So I did actually lay it all out also for 160. I was like, I think it's coming up. So right now we have more choices than we used to have in the past. We used to have just Shakeology and Performance. Now we have Glow and Go, and I believe first thing is the other one, our neurotropics. But we can chat with you guys on that individually. But literally the packs are pretty much the same. It's for 160 and you get your choice of supplements, but it essentially gives you everything that you need to get started. Your business kit, access to all of our groups, and like the bits and pieces, the trackers, the containers, things like that. And then this is our new, as we mentioned, where everything's merging over to one platform. In March, it will all be BODi. There will not be Beachbody On Demand and BODi, two different things. It will all be one thing. So right now, You can upgrade and get annual BODi and BOD, the whole thing all together, and the supplements, everything that you see here for a whole year. 30-day supplements, not a whole year for the fitness and nutrition aspect is $219. And then we also still have promo codes. I believe that we're able to use this year to get you $20 off. So I think it comes down to $199 or something, right? Maybe. Oh, something like that. Okay. So that is pretty much it. The thing that we want you guys to be thinking about now is, what becoming a partner with us on our team and Next Level Leaders and BODi as a whole, or an affiliate even, what can that do for you? Are you wanting to just get the groceries paid for? Are you wanting to send your kid to private school next year? Do you have to move into a different town, or like, what does this look like for you? Right? What are your goals? What are your dreams? And then thinking about who you can help with this. I think that is now, like, what started for me was really selfish. I got into this business because I was looking for something to save me time. And then I also wanted the freedom. I wanted to be the stay-at-home mom. I wanted to be able to run my own business, my own flexibility, like be the mystery reader at their school. Like, that's what I was after, was the time freedom. I wasn't really thinking about the income. I was just thinking, I need to live my life with my family on my own time and schedule. So that was what attracted me first. And now that I've come through this so many years, my passion today really lies in helping other women with the business opportunity, helping them to see what they can have with something like this. I mean, this was not something that was with young kids. Like, this just was not a thing that people talked about, or they like poo-pooed it, And so for me now, my passion becomes that. My biggest goals are to see my coaches and my teammates walking across stage at our annual conference and earning big rewards and getting their income goals met and helping them to realize their dreams. So, it's one of those things where it's like, where are you thinking about? Like, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, where do you want to be? What does that feel like for you? Christy, do you have anything else that you want to add?
Just definitely, like, give it some thoughts and think about what would be possible. Because when I started, I didn't think it started very small. It was simply like, maybe I can earn a couple of bucks and I can not teach boot camp classes 4 nights a week. Maybe I could go down to 3 nights a week and still help people and help myself. And then it turned into, what if I done this? What if I done that? So it can start with a small dream and build to a big dream, or you may already know what kind of big dream you've got and you're like, okay, I'm going to go after it. So everybody's goals and dreams and reasons for starting their own business and own journey is different, and really digging into what you would like to do is big, and that also is your motivator to keep going as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This picture here is of my mom's front yard in the summertime, and my biggest vision for us and our team is sitting around our fire pit down there by the beach, talking about our goals and dreams with our team. I would love so much in this next year to be able to bring you guys here. That is a huge dream of mine. We're lucky enough that we were able to move to our forever home. We are across the street. We are not, I'm saying because I'm looking out the window here. But this is my goal someday, is to be on the lake. The amount of costs to be on the water are crazy. But it's going to be doable, and I'm on the way to do that.
I
um,
think it's so funny. Hate to interrupt, but I think it's so funny. We met by coincidence, but she lives across from the lake. I live across the lake, and I love our subdivision and our area. And I always say, like, if I'm ever going to relocate, it's just going to be across the street.
that is funny. That is funny. I
So
know. Like,
it's like I can see the
actually
lake
go
from my
across
house,
the street.
but I'm not on the water.
Right. I know. I do have the view, but it's good though because it's inexpensive view over here.
It's like this is the affordable side of the
Right.
subdivision.
That's
That's
right.
like okay, next level.
That's right. That's right. All right. So I think that's it. We kind of chatted. Oh, just under an hour. Holy cow, a little bit less than last time. We always say we're gonna make it short, we promise. But it just gets so much fun to talk about. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this with us. If you have any questions, please let us know. You can drop comments below the video itself or send us a message. We'll make sure to include our emails and different ways to get in touch with us. Reach out to the person who sent you here to talk about get started. And that's it. Anything else? I think you're muted. Are you muted? I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm muted. I'm muting because I have two girls in there fighting all of a sudden. So it's chaos. But thank you guys for listening to us, and reach out and we'll answer any of your guys' questions.
Thank you. Bye, guys.